You are watching the biggest, the largest, the highest, the greatest, the toughest, and the tallest African spiritual platform. My name is Queen Adasa. Call me Empress Makida. I am Labraska, the Sun Goddess. I am the World Star number 8. I am the Spear of Destiny. I am Maame Grace, the Diako. And I am the woman of peace. I am Revelations. And I am the biggest. I am the mother of all spiritual platforms. I welcome you, my people, to another great episode. Today is a great day. Mr. Fianu is on set. And today, I don't know whether he's looking for fight. He said, Dangme people are not Hebrew Israelites. I know we are here to find out what is it about. I welcome you. Consciousness family. We are interested in liberating ourselves and our continent. And until you are here, my Mr. Fianu Akwabe. Mr. Fianu, I welcome you.
Thank you, Maame Grace.
Mr. 76 book of voices. And no Mame Wata.
No Mame Wata.
These two episodes, which one did you get a response by?
I've not been reading
the comment, but have you not been called?
Yeah, people have called, but when they call, they don't actually ask about Mame Wata. They ask me to give certain explanations, especially about how the Bible came to be in existence.
Oh, okay. They are still looking for how the Bible came to be in existence.
Yeah.
They are interested.
Yeah, people are interested.
And what do you tell them?
Oh, I just tell them that people sat down to compose it, to be able to explain how they came into existence, not how we, the people now using it, came into existence. Specifically, the Old Testament tries to explain how the Jews, the Israelites, came into existence. But they also came to meet people already in existence. So they had to compose a story to fit into the system. They are very young people. They came into existence just around 1000 BC.
Which people?
The Israelites.
Oh, okay.
They came into existence around 1000 BC.
Are we not the Israelites?
No, we are not Israelites.
Well, what are we then?
We are ourselves. We are Africans.
You are watching the biggest. You will explain, Taya. Hey, Bible. Wallahi. Papa, we welcome you.
Thank you.
Okay, so welcome the people and greet them. If there's anything you want to tell them first before we come into.
Greetings to my big family at Anyako and Agona Nyakrom and everybody else who has been watching this great platform for enlightenment. I salute all of you. I salute the divinity in all of you. I radiate peace, love, light to all who are watching this program. Peace be unto everyone.
Your peace be unto everyone is his greetings. And Mr. I send you love, and hate. I welcome you to another episode. And today's topic is Dangme are not the Hebrew Israelites. And no, you're feeling about shame. But Mr. Fianu, me myself personally, the other day I had a question for you. You said, were you saying there's nothing like spirit?
No, I'm not saying there isn't anything like spirit. We should understand, when we talk about spirit, what are we talking about? Okay,
what is spirit?
It depends upon the way one is looking at it. But if we go into the technicality, when we talk about spirit, we are taking a look at vibratory energy. And each object has its own frequency, be it an inanimate object, that is an unconscious object. Solid, like stones, are unconscious. They don't have consciousness. But they also emit their vibrations. Then objects that have life in them also emit their set of vibrations. But before objects become alive, they should possess certain qualities. So a living object, even a bacterium, has certain qualities that allow it to express life. Then they become more complex with more cells coming together from the amoeba stage, bacteria stage, even viruses. Then we begin to progress. From viruses, we get to bacteria stage, then we gradually bring more cells together. Then we become a more complex being like ourselves. We have had a very long period of evolution. A lot of people don't want to accept evolution, but that is how it is. Our body has accumulated over a very long period, beginning from about 600 million years ago. In geology, it is referred to as the Cambrian stage. That there is first the period where the earth was only mineral matter. Then the mineral matter cooled down with water coming in. And it is water that has given us life. Without water, there will be no life anywhere. So currently, scientists are looking for life to see whether there is life elsewhere in the universe. For life that is like on Earth, without water, there will be no existence. So it is after the Earth has cooled and accumulated water, then life started as micro, single-cell organisms, and they have been found as solid rocks today. Then gradually, they prepared the way for the poisonous atmosphere to be purified. It is after the purification had completed itself, then the creative energy, I will call it cosmic intelligence. Because the moment you mention the name God, then you begin to personify it, and everybody would have a way of looking at God, and then it will generate fight. But the truth of the matter is that there is a cosmic intelligence backing the manifestation of things in the universe. And it is when the cosmic intelligence prepares the ground, then things manifest. So as soon as the laws are set in place, conditions are made right, then something else will manifest to fit what has been prepared. So we human beings appeared on Earth. Our earliest ancestors are about 8 million years old. And they began in Africa. After all the upheavals, in fact, I have diagrams to show it. Here is how the Earth started. The Earth started as a big ball of mass after it had rained. First, there was just a ball of fire. And the ball of fire came from the sun. And the sun also came from the universe, which started 13.8 billion years ago. Then our solar system, that has given us life as part of the solar system family. The sun came into existence 4.567 billion years ago. Then 4.54 billion years ago, the Earth came out. But at that time, it was just a ball of fire. Then for about half that period, the ball cooled. After it cooled, volcanic activity brought water that had been trapped inside the mass from beneath the ground. Then other crystals became attracted by gravity to fall on the Earth for another 1 to 1.5 billion years. Then water accumulated. When it accumulated, we had the continental masses forming this way. Now you can see Africa is in the middle. And this is about 600 million years ago. By 541 million years ago, the microscopic life started. And that is the time we started as microscopic organisms. Then this is the Earth when it's about 335 to 200 million years ago. You can still see Africa in the middle. Africa is at the center of the Earth's masses, so everything is moving away from Africa. We are a very stable continent. So this is 335 to 200 million years ago. Then the Earth moved again with shaking up, volcanic activity, tectonic plates shaking up. And then this is 200 million years ago. You can still see Africa at the center. All other continental masses are moving away. Then this is 145 million years ago. Life is still progressing. Then we started having big organisms. The dinosaurs started developing around this time. They started becoming bigger because they were the biggest organisms at the top of the animal life. So you can still see Africa is still in the center of the Earth masses. All other land masses are moving away. Then this is 65 million years ago. Life is advancing. You can still see Africa is at the center. All other continental masses are moving away, bumping it into each other. Mountains are beginning to form. And as soon as the mountains form, volcanic activity erupts. Then the atmosphere changes. More magnetism is put out there. The Earth is being prepared for human beings to come, but not yet. But still, Africa is at the center. There were certain times ice would begin to cover the whole Earth, but Africa never had it fully covered. So this is 65 million years
So up to this time, we are not here.
No, human beings hadn't developed. But our cousins, the animals, are moving up. Then this is the present time. By this stage, that's about 10 million years, 20, 25 million years coming down to this. The continents are more or less very stable. The Himalayan mountains had been formed. The East African mountain ranges have also been formed. Then the land masses in America, North and South America, had also been formed. The American continent had bumped into each other and formed the North and South American land. But by this time, the dinosaurs had died out because there was a meteorite that fell and then bumped into Mexico area and created a big gap there and blocked all light from coming again. And the dinosaurs could not withstand it because they had not adjusted to darkness. So they died out. It is when the dinosaurs died out after about 65 million years ago, then it gave chance for us to appear on Earth. Because we are cousins with the apes. We are not apes, but we share a common ancestor with the apes. Then about 10 million years ago, certain volcanic activities and then the magnetic forces in the atmosphere, certainly under the guidance of the cosmic intelligence, prepared the ground for us humans to appear. Then our oldest ancestor is about 8 million years old. And they appeared in Africa because Africa all along had been very stable. So when people think that Africans are very, in terms of even spirituality, it is not. We were the first spiritual beings, advanced human beings, to appear on Earth. Now, after the conditions had become very stable by the close of the dinosaur age, and then we begin to get into the modern age. By 2 million years ago, then our first human ancestors emerged. And it was here in Africa, because Africa had always been stable. So the cosmic forces prepared Africa for human beings to emerge. So here, we see the red mark showing where life began from. The first human beings originated around the Lake Victoria area, and then South Africa itself. Then migrations, even though they were very primitive and they were like animals, they were like apes, they still mingled within one another. Then East Africa, the Horn of Africa too, was a center of human activity. Then as the changes developed, and the changes went along with volcanic activity. Anytime there was a heavy volcanic eruption, it affected the way our brain developed. So at first, the brain was very small. Unfortunately, I would have brought, the next time I come, I will bring a diagram that has shown the changes in the way our brain started increasing in volume. And it increased in volume as a result of response to the magnetic activity set up by changes in the atmosphere due to volcanic activity, and then the diet we were beginning to take. When we started eating a little bit more animal material, it stimulated the brain to increase in volume. Then as the brain increased in volume, Then we became more intelligent. Then we had then entered what we call the earliest Stone Age, the Paleolithic age. Paleo means very ancient. Lithos or lithic is stone. So when we talk about Paleolithic age, then the ape had advanced to become able to use tools. And the use of tools began around 2 million years ago. Then our ancestors started moving from Africa. So you can see the red line tracing. The Sahara Desert at this time too was not a desert. It was a fertile land area. So some of our ancestors met other groups because after every 100,000 or more years, changes occurred. So the first humans, you see the land bridge. It was as if the cosmic forces intentionally allowed that land bridge connecting Africa to the rest of Europe through the Middle East, what the Europeans have designated as Middle East. People started moving because activity was going on in the Sahara Desert. Then they followed the water lines. In fact, currently as we speak, there is a very huge river under the Sahara Desert sands. It is called Lake Tamaracet. A very huge river. Now, it is an ancient river which used to be at the surface, but it has now gone down as a result of the piling up of sand and earth activity. It's gone deep down into the ground. It was identified by satellite imaging when the NASA spacecraft went up into the skies.
They have a book before it.
So there is currently the ancient river channel. So when we actually talk about there is anything called Garden of Eden, the whole Africa was the Garden of Eden. And it got its concentration at the center of the Sahara Desert. At that time, it wasn't a desert. It was forest grassland. There were elephants, there were hippopos, there were giraffes. And there are cave drawings indicating how people lived there and the type of animals that they saw. All of this time, we were still in the primitive Stone Age, but the Stone Age was advancing gradually. So there is a Paleolithic Stone Age, Mesolithic, that is the Middle Stone Age. Stone implements were beginning to advance. Archaeologists have discovered all of these. Then we enter the age of agriculture, and that occurred around 8,000 to 8,000 BC. That's about 10,000 years ago. By then, the Sahara Desert had started gradually drying up, and people started moving. Some moved towards the sea north, into Morocco, Algeria, that area. And then some also moved south, a little bit closer to the forest zone, but they met the River Niger and stopped there because the forest was hostile. People then hadn't developed how to clear the forest. So they lived there. Then they started moving eastwards towards the Nile because there were river channels. The rivers were connected, so as soon as it dries up, then they follow the river gradually. Then some moved southwards again to the Kush area, that's Sudan area. Then others moved northward towards the Nile Delta area. Eventually, the southern people in the Ethiopia region. Ethiopia actually is not the current Ethiopia we know. Ethiopia is a Greek word, meaning the land of people who have black skin or black faces or burnt skin. Current Ethiopia used to be called Abyssinia. The same area called Ethiopia, the Arabs call it Sudan. Sudan in the Arabic language means people whose skin is black. So the Greeks, Ethiopia, the Arabs, Sudan, is referring to the same area, land where the people are black. You know, but the Egyptians call the place Nubia. The Nubia means, Nub in Egyptian language is gold. There was a lot of gold in Nubia. So they used to go there to dig it up. But the people themselves refer to themselves as the Kush people. So around 6,500 years, then people started moving about. Then civilization started there. And by then, too, the desert had started forming. So people could not come from outside. People moved out of Africa to other places to populate the whole world. So today, every single human being on earth has an African gene in him or her. So those who think of destroying Africans, anytime you develop any artificial means of destroying Africans, it will eventually hit back at you again, because we are all one people. Deep down at the gene center is a single thing which connects all human beings, because you came out of we in Africa. So those who think that Africans are spiritually inferior and that we didn't try hard enough or we were lazy, it is the other way around. It is we, the Africans, who have rather enlightened the whole world, because we are the oldest people on earth and we have gone through so many stages. In fact, all the 5 human stages have been experienced here in Africa.
So why are we like this?
It is the colonization and especially the slave trade. The whites, when they came back, and the Arabs, somehow they know how powerful we are, how intelligent we are. So what they did was to try to suppress us so that they would take advantage of the resources we have. But we have been very free people. We welcome strangers. In fact, the Gans are the epitome of the African personality. We never dislike people, especially people who are strangers, because we have had that suffering, long period of suffering here in our land. So we understand what is meant by human suffering. Because there was a time the whole Africa dried up. Then it started raining again. Those are the changes that enabled human beings to advance in life. So we have advanced through being able to overcome difficulties. So traditionally, the black man is very hospitable, very accommodating to strangers, because within us we understand what is meant by suffering. Now, when one gets to China, the Chinese people are the stock from the Kalahari Desert, the Hottentots. Genetic studies have now been able to get to know where everybody comes from. So people from the Kalahari Desert, the so-called Bushmen, they walked, it's walking that time, and we also had a way of developing boats. So our ancestors, because there are a lot of rivers in Africa, they learned how to do that. So they took some, crossed the Horn of Africa region and crossed into Saudi Arabia and continued trekking. Others used the land bridge at the top there, connecting Egypt to the Middle East. The whites call it the Levant. So the Levant region became the land bridge. This is the area. So our primitive ancestors also used that area in terms of following the rivers as they moved. When it dried, they looked further on. So from there, the population increased. But at any particular stage, wherever they get to, after about 2,000, 3,000, up to 10,000 years or more, evolution develops, and then the human beings change. So the human that left Africa was Homo erectus. Earlier, the others had developed into the Neanderthals and the Denisovans. Then other waves went to meet them. So the next batch that would move would go and meet those people, and then they intermarry, and then eventually those with weak genes.
They keep spreading.
Yes, and then those with weak genes are overpowered by those with stronger genes. Then the human race changes. So everybody with white skin came out from the black skin. It is not the other way around. Black can give birth to white, but white can never give birth to black. It doesn't exist. It doesn't happen. And the white skin developed because of the ice age. There was a time ice covered the earth for more than 1,000 years. In fact, there have been about 5 ice ages or so, if my memory serves me right. So those who went north towards Europe, they got locked up in the caves. A lot of them died, but those who were able to survive adjusted to the weak light, weak sunlight. Ice age, you know. They got locked up in the caves. It's light and enough, and skin started to say, "Hey, pale," to pick up the little light that is available. It's God gave us the melanin. The melanin is a spiritual powerhouse. It enables us to tap energy from the sun, not only physical energy, but the spiritual energy as well.
They say, no, as some also who spirit that. And no, the ask a question. When you say spirit, apart from
spirit
the one,
is energy.
Spirit is energy.
Yes.
But you were saying because you tried to find one to see with your korokoro eye and you didn't see. Because of that, you don't believe that they are there. That's what I want to understand.
I see. It is not, most of them are not out there the way we think. Like, for example, the river. The river doesn't have any spirit in it. What we think is the spirit in the river is rather in us. Then we project the spirit in us, and the river acts as a mirror, reflecting. Oh, I've encountered a few things.
A few things like.
But those that I encountered, I was able to understand what they are.
That's what we want to understand.
There was a time I operated a boat on the Volta Lake from 1985 to 1990. Then I stopped. That period, there was something I noticed that when people die over bank, most of us, the tradition is that when you die, you can be buried, the physical body can be buried wherever you are, if it is too expensive or too cumbersome to transport the body. So what they do is they will bury you there, perform the funeral, but they will pick relics. Even your friend live will be you one boy around we you won't see kakrana, we shave one more tomb na why
no they are befi.
Na or that's a magic box. Yeah. Now what about besi no why ye kakra to signify that was the wabefi. Now say it's a full human being, it's the rich in so a manzi bi or there ye. Akoko kor snap apetishi ya bejene eja abompa ya ansan we twen soon but obi no honoma say oye relic na spare part still we handle it like a full human being. No occasionally obi no honoma because of our sovereignty now what that you want the mum for the no what that better boat no now you do the most dangerous part obo wan you there first na me jinzo. Then I didn't used to believe it, but the boat would behave in a certain way. But when the baby, I can find you back them. Turn and go back there again. It's when I had them pet, they would know. Then we begin to find out what has happened. Say, no, I can't get there. Jonah needs it. If you don't own up, then it means all of us are going to die. It's all a them pet, then you put a do. But the Damadi, you put who by there 6 months ago now. Yeah, the pattern, yeah, the rook of fee. One day I shall not horror. At that time, I could be a ring. But you moved to your sky, you could do fear pet. No, there. Okope, Akoko Bana. I could go on the honor and I had a boat to Jumana. Oh, no, they are like soup.
But they are not the person me because they are not all say ye who she no na me wonder kaka because I know there are things.
Yeah. The we are the ones who create those things.
So the ones that was turning the boat.
We didn't create them. Or your energy now, our body part no moon.
So if there's energy in the body part, why don't you think there are things? Me person me say who she when you should that say but when will be that nanka why explaining why you feel say a nipa na e create
now you there young friend there for example will be today abuetia energy there are people who died, they are Stone Age people about 200,000 years ago. They are gone, but people believe in them. It is the belief is what is charging the system. Now when
so what I want to understand is when we be waiting here working, are they still the like what I mean to say is that when who entity be being be is that why you don't believe?
No, it is not that. It isn't that is why I don't believe. It is because I know that we have been creating many of those beings.
How can we be creating
those beings? We have the spiritual capability of creating things, just as we have physical capability of creating things. It is a belief in you're wrong. You create things for yourself and the thing would disturb you.
So if my belief is right, and I create Jesus, Jesus will come.
Right now as it is, the Christ that we all think is Christ is different Christ created by different church systems. On your Christ,
no, I don't. That's not what I want to understand. But I'm asking you this question because me person me say who she danti. And I won't jin this say bibi wo ho. And not to say won't jin this say bibi wo because bibi wo ho. I want to mean cause me was school. Okay, me was school. Na de na yesua no me yesua bibi a omusua fie ni mu na me yesua fi bottom. Say bi omusua spectacles here wo ho ya. Me obi yesua adeko ewo mu no. Me mesua adeko ebetimi abese no. Me learn from the bottom to the front. Enti wo benya ade na wie na wo try to protect it. Me I have what to protect it. Not just me dey na easy amame. So in class we are learning how our spirit get it out of nipa body. Anyhow we be pulling spirit no abetu nipa na body move back. Okay? Na yesia said ya wo betumi baby a wo be press it na what stopping nipa no. The way a ohome na what restarting nipa ne system no na nya de wa nyina fifi no e school amewo maybe be a next month and the ho baby enti whilst they are learning and they are calling people do it and they see these blue lights and all that, so I decided to do something else. So I did it just come to 3 beach here. I got myself mercury and I rubbed the mercury camera, phone camera, and phone I did two. Me rubby or phone camera him. Okay? And at midnight, me focus wo see no so any river no so. I tell you will see images. A big crowd on me try posted on my page no so. But we didn't say that like we've posted anything there. But I'm trying to tell you, you will see images, just that some of them is wrong, rough. Are you saying what the camera captured? I created it.
Now, you could have created it. Minimubia or projection or my words, camera can share dark room, pure dark room. Then the person focused attention on it and projected an image. It's okay, why any projection they went to develop the film and the image was on it, only there. It wasn't as sharp as your friend.
That is how it appears. So you are saying me kita phone, me also me creating.
You could have created it yourself without knowing it.
This one, I wish somebody can come and debate this for me.
You could have created it yourself. Collectively, another thing so is when there are people at a place and they all believe in the same thing, they are able to generate energy which they radiate and then it manifests.
I know about that. I know about that. But what I'm trying to say is that there are things.
No, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying there aren't things. And what I'm saying is that I don't have any statistical figure to it, but most of the things that we think are things, we have created them. We human beings have created them.
I created that thing on the sea.
It is possible. If not you created it, the people around the area could have created it without their knowing. Yes. Projection. Now, right now as we are speaking, Umutia phenomenon is beginning to fade. Currently, the last time I heard about Umutia Wafobi, Obutebri Konfu, way back late 70s. Now, That time she was a young girl around puberty, age of puberty. She was writing the middle school leaving certificate examination. And then somewhere in the middle of writing the examination, she got out of the, people thought, the invigilator thought she was going to the washroom. But then after moving out, she removed her footwear, then went in towards the washroom area. And then she went behind it, and that was the end of it. She didn't enter back into the classroom to continue the exam. She disappeared for about 3 days.
We will talk about this.
And then finally she came again and she became Obutebri Konfu.
We will talk about this one day. Because do you know that there are places, even in Ghana, we have like about 2 places, that when you go and you step there, you can get lost and come back. Are you aware of this?
No, I'm not aware of a place like that in Ghana here. But take the case, for example, of the Bermuda Triangle area. It is not all the time that things vanish, but once in a while, planes go there, they vanish.
So are you saying it is human that created that energy there?
No, it is an energy center that could have been done by the current that rotate around the area.
That's what I'm saying. We will talk about this one day.
Yeah.
Because there are things that I don't think human beings created them. So are you saying we are only species living here? And there are no other species like extraterrestrial beings and all that?
For extraterrestrial beings, people have been talking about them, but is there proof?
No, it's not. Everything that is happening here, is there proof about everything? Even life. Does life have proof?
So sometimes it is misinterpretation of things that.
That's what I'm saying. We have to talk about this one day.
Yeah.
I will try and talk to somebody to see if and we see if we can put off light and invoke things to happen here.
Yeah, ectoplasm. Ectoplasm.
Magic.
No, ectoplasm is energy we radiate from ourselves. During the days and now, seances or a common or broaching. People go there in dark rooms and then the medium will tell them, I'm going to invoke the spirit of your dead husband or something. Most of the time. Or you may say, and the medium is able, when the dark light
so
is dark,
what do you call that?
Ectoplasm.
So
Ectoplasm, which is generated by the medium.
The medium. So
medium,
what do you call that?
Oh, energy nifi medium. And or tap into anima, or tap into Besiana we in the Besian or radiate on him in a picture. So the medium taps into the mind of the person who is anxious to communicate with the.
So if you should see something right now, would be, from the way you've made your mind, whatever you see, you have a name for it. Why it is a doctor?
I will analyze what I'm seeing. I have to analyze
I
what
don't
I'm
actually
seeing.
believe in what people say that and they saw angel coming. I don't actually believe those ones. Okay, there are things when you tell me, you know. But I'm trying to say that there are things, there are beings.
When a human being is on the verge of dying, there is an energy part of the being, the body, that moves off. Then people who have sensitive eyes are able to see what is referred to as the silver cord. The silver cord links up to that energy. Okay, you can call it the etheric body. In ancient Egypt, I always refer to ancient
So etheric body and you don't want to believe.
No, that's what if my etheric body or the bar is manifesting, it is me who is manifesting. It is me. The thing is me. The energy in me.
So what is the essence of the silver cord? What's
the silver cord is linked to the soul, not the spirit. As soon as the silver cord breaks, life is gone.
Exactly.
No matter, nobody will be able to revive anybody.
So you
who has
believe in that?
Oh, but the thing is, it is the energy. So
it's in you.
It is in you.
Everything you see is in you. All the aliens and the ones.
It is we who reflect. We are like mirrors. So in the first place, when you are seeing something, you have to find out whether you are the one who have projected it, or it is from somebody else who has also projected his thoughts. So you
are watching that because
you right now, as you are sitting here, you can project yourself. Somebody can see you in Tamale.
That is astral projection. We know about projection. Okay, we know about projection. What I wanted you to admit is that Mwetia, do you know Mwetia is there?
Mwetia, well, the thing is, Mwetia 200,000 years ago, human
beings
now.
So they are no more.
Right now, they are vanishing because people don't believe in them
so
again.
Are you saying they are no more?
Right now, I don't think they manifest, except in areas where people believe in them. Maybe an Mwetia is human. People now go there to pray. The same manifestation now has turned into Holy Ghost, whatever it is. So we have given it a different name. Forest and I am with away Juma one. Since your name with your view or a Holy Ghost.
So you believe they are there, but we've changed their name. Is that what you're saying?
The thing is, there is something which we have given a tag. So when our understanding changes, then we give it a new name.
So that you
or your energy system.
Okay, let's leave this one. We will one day talk, if possible. we will go to places. Because there are things.
Now, one goes to England. I haven't been to London before, but from books that I have read, London is said to be the most haunted city in the world. Buckingham Palace has a place where they see ghosts on regular basis, Roman ghosts. There is one of my books said somebody was hired as a butler, the person who serves wine to the queen and the royal family. Because he was new to the place, he didn't know what people used to see ahead of him. So he was asked to go and bring wine from the wine cellar down there. Then, as he was going, he saw Roman soldiers in battle formation, moving, and then they were coming towards him. So he turned and then decided to run across the steps. He couldn't go far, he fell, and then before he realized, the Roman soldier apparitions were in front of him, and they had bypassed him and they were going up. So he ran up, and then they asked him why he came empty-handed. He said that he saw something, so don't worry, that thing, it always happens, it won't harm you. Then they said the cellar has been built on a previous battleground where the Roman soldiers, in fact, one full battalion got lost there.
That's what I'm saying. That things are there.
It is the energy of the people who fought that is left there. Energy, what do
you call that?
It is energy. You don't have to pray to that.
And nobody is praying to anything. I'm just asking a harmless question. I'm not saying anybody should pray to that.
Africa, that place would have become a praying center.
Oh, so you believe that the thing is there, but
I don't know,
people turning it into things is what you don't agree.
Exactly. You know, they have left their charge. It's like charging a battery. When you connect the electricity from outside, the battery doesn't initially have any power. But you connect it to electricity, then you transfer power into there, then it stores it. Then you continue using it until the energy fades
I
out.
understand you. What I want to say, I wanted to understand you have actually said it. Because do you know that when you are in the fourth dimension, you are able to see what's going on in this third dimension?
The fourth dimension, no, the three dimensions, length, breadth, depth, gives us solidity. But when you go up, then the electrons begin to look hollow.
So?
Electrons begin to vibrate.
No,
just the electrons. When you get into quantum physics, you begin to see those things.
The things are there, so you have your own translation.
No, it is not my own
translation. Because we have your topic to treat.
It is wrong interpretation of what is happening.
What makes it wrong? Because it doesn't go your way?
No, it is not that it doesn't go my way. It is the interpretation in that, for example.
Oh, who a genuine person who can actually see and move things to come and sit with him?
Now, there is telekinesis. Somebody who has developed his telekinesis skills. You can put an object on this table.
I can move your
that is it, yes. You look at it and then
move
shift
it.
And move it. It is the energy from the mind which has been used to move the object.
You're watching the biggest and the largest. Let's leave this one. Hey, What's your English name?
Martin.
Martin.
Yeah.
They should have given you Thomas. Okay, Busia, so let's get into God Dangme are not Hebrew Israelites. So we blacks are not Israelites at all.
No, we are not Israelites. Now, let us take a look at who people are, identification. So if you say a Gan have certain things that identify them as such. When you talk about Ewe, there are certain things that will identify who an Ewe is. So we all have these identifications. And Akan has certain things that will identify that person as Akan. It includes language, religion. In fact, everything that we lump up in totality and we call culture is what helps identify people. We can learn some aspects of it. I've been taught English. In fact, ever since I went to class 1. Those days we didn't have a kindergarten. So you go straight to class 1 and then
when you were 6, near the
So ever since that I've been taught how to speak English. Then when I went to secondary school, I did some little French and then some Latin. But that does not make me an English person. I can speak the English language. There is something about the English people. No, even if the person cannot speak, that is Sebekafra. Nipanu mumkrana, or a queen, nenana. If the person is a German, or a Germany or a Hitler, Nasifu. So these identifications are there. The food, the way we dress, the way we speak. Then religion is an aspect of it. Now, I can practice somebody's religion, but that does not make me that person. Right now, some people practice the religion of the Jews, but that doesn't make them Hebrews. They've only adopted their religion. They can accept you into their group because you have learned their language and you are practicing their religion. But still, you cannot, Denchem cannot change into tilapia, though both of them are in
the river.
In the river, exactly. And Diaso Shenzuma 1 million years done Denchem at all. So these identifications are there. Now, if we talk about the Hebrew, who are they? Before I go into that, when we talk about Israel, the descendant of Jacob did not produce 12 tribes. It is only one tribe. What is a tribe? A tribe is identified by the language they speak, the religion they practice, the food they eat, their customs and traditions. And they are normally a closed group. Hardly would you get somebody from there marrying somebody else if the person is a woman. The men from the group sometimes will go for a woman outside. But they are women, hardly. Close group. Now, a tribe also have recourse to identifying somebody as a common ancestor. So all Akans are one tribe. All Efes are one tribe. There are divisions within them, but that doesn't make them different tribes. It's one tribe. Now, when you go into the Israelites, they trace their origin to Abraham, who comes from Mesopotamia, the area called Chaldea, the city Ur. That is Abraham's hometown. So he's a Chaldean, not a Hebrew. Then he gave birth to Isaac. Isaac, even to get a woman for Isaac, they went back to their hometown to marry somebody for Isaac.
Rebecca.
Yes. So you see that the linkages are still there. Then Jacob also married somebody from the same root. The women are not different. So even if you trace the ancestry of the women, they are all related. So how can the 4 or so wives of Jacob give birth to 12 tribes? They speak one language, they eat one food. In fact, the most important identifying mark is their belief that the God they worship is called Yahweh. That is what unifies them. So the whole of Israel is one tribe, not 12 tribes.
Which is not Africans.
No, they are Semites. They are Semitic people. They are not Africans. They are Semitic people. And the language they speak is a Semitic language, not an African language.
Language, knowledge, in truth, is there.
No, let us analyze the thing scientifically, not with emotion, but with not belief or religion or anything. But young kono was scientific analysis. Young share that you can't be Hebrew nya nipa ni fi hifa. Nipa ni nase ne nana nkanswa ye Abraham. Na ne direct na nkanswa ye Jacob. Nti Jacob asefo na were the Israelites because at a certain point in time na Jacob also son nidin or the than Israel. It's all one man. Then people identified them as the children of Israel. Now, in the year 1208 BC, and Pharaoh be an over that time, or friend of Pharaoh Meneptah. Oh, I wish I could easily. Odu Bribin, and with the maps that I'm lecturer. In Ziba, we Sahara Desert, and all good than or kakran na mafu pia. Do big called Nile Valley no man. And what the Quayonium Zifi, Sahara Desert, and what the call. Walk also more no one in Tree, Ponchin, ads. What the Nina, the Cashet Nile Valley, then they started it. Now, archaeologists will discover down south, the actual civilization started in the southern part of the land, around Ethiopia, around Kush, around Sudan. Started. Then they started producing improved pottery. What you concern are they would not start first one and we who archaeologists we could to for the same group will be fufuri in baby amba. We the next batch after 1,000 years. Now you know them lawyer and oil first and the first one and into here Nakada 1, Nakada 2, Nakada 3. By Nakada 3, who they had developed. Now, what started the winner a handful. It's a honor now, or him, no woman who is in scorpions. Until we have Scorpion King 1, Scorpion King 2, Scorpion King 3. Then after Scorpion King 3, then on him be by our own now, feeling who now, we have moved from about 8,000 BC to around 3,500 BC. 3,500 BC time when Scorpion Kings was developing. Then around 3,200 BC, now on here now, also be Z Scorpion 3, Obediazi, Bra Scorpion 3 win. No friend Nama. Nama Ashen Suda or the man on now or mad fish. Mad fish in Egyptian languages, Nama. Tinoho. Now incidentally, Hausa folks were Kanama, it is referring to meat and a fish. Now, Kinama, Greek if we know a friend Mena and a menace. Then okay, young Crofubiso Lower Egypt. The Nile flows from south to the north. Now, north and south and upland. And now slope, Mepana, I don't know what southern side or the river Sudan. Na mpuano side no no kufum nti mpuano side on delta area Egypt for our friend lower Egypt and baby oye bepon oye upper Egypt na lower Egypt na o crown or hina or no she chokoko and chokoko na upper Egypt Sudan area one or hina ono she chofita and chofita them chawne na pupufu wa copy aya washing no I don't know. Let us go and then unite ourselves. No two southern side of lower Egypt for Odosa. Then he conquered them and united the whole Egypt from south to north. Then that is the time the United Egypt developed. And this was around 3,200, 3,100 BC. And what kind of boom in Kabomusuye? What kind of boom now if you win in our then the civilization developed. The Mabrini, nobody was coming from outside to come and be with them. I want to say because Mediterranean Sea was so nobody was crossing. That time ships were not available. Desert, so Saudi Arabia area, so desert war, Red Sea or a big crossing point, Ubi and Tumumba. Southern side, na Mbobana do Hunti, before no sa wo no ntum mfurunko. Ena to the west, Sahara Desert no say our develop. Into I want to say wo no ntum mba. Into the Nile Valley had peace to develop for a very long time. The only time that peace was broken was when around 1900 BC, Ahoho was started there. Na fi woro ko hon kakra. Na ya before so ya yemi Ahoho bape ya jehon. Na dem Ahoho no sa woro ba no wo fra hon Hyksos. Wo ba wo jehon awa we 2 ma hon baby tonight. Obi no mi. Well, around 1900 BC, no one started to worry about Egypt in Kakrakra because just like yesterday Abraham obedu Canaan, no okomisi Canaan, but need to know Egypt. You see, ahoho no oba nkakra na yama no baby, yana na no mo ama no baby mo watena. You see, the move for you or your drawing na Egypt for nankasa what draw we war. Ohini bi ne tumbum. You see who there Egypt for now was skin oil brown and abrofono na Semites. It's likely that was around the time Abraham also went in. Because Abraham's a Semite. It's in kakra the man a feed woman who baby watching. And after about 100 years, after you who are there, after the microphone kasa also just what the ponko na akonzea oya zen. Ne okwe nyimsen Egypt fo no wotu hye Egypt fo do no wodi wosum kunyim nti ehun the Egypt no so 2 parts lower Egypt at the delta area na upper Egypt na nyimdzi no so anai nyimboe no so fi south no called north and power ni nyina so wo more in the south nti se ahoho no ba no wotu hye wodo dem a bona fi na wija upper side no delta area no we go na about south no so no before ever ban e benya dompi ma we kweti aw in ahoho no ben that's a Hyksos or friend on Hyksos what na delta area ho that time na Egypt fo we ni aponko even ndama was the kon na it was not iron they had copper tools and bronze kakra but ade ba ko so nyi de ye ahien before you see had tentem to anche ena Egypt fu no sia akodze na ahoho no wode beje wasase fi won semen quickly then they use that against them iti nkrofo no ba ho around 1650 meanwhile we can started over about 1900 BC nkakra until by 1650 now it's almost 250 years and afi obi tu share wodo ankasa but they ruled for only 100 years by 100 years later 1515 na Egypt funu we sun akudi ni nyina te dem re alavanyo fo so abrofo di two ben within a short time na we hu e kona wo fado na wo ye tu ni bi ti abrofo di wo de ba na won so blacksmith no pepe that is the technology that our people developed quickly now what two world sa ohina odi kan oye no friend Kamose obre but he died in battle na ne ba otiodo then he also died and na Kamose ne ba ne brother that is only the Amose the first only na fi obi wie bibia na opam Hyksos. So after sacking the Hyksos in 1550 he chased them into Canaan because that is the direction where they came from. That time na Egypt for no one Canaan. What only around the delta area pe. This is old Egypt. From old Egypt, old kingdom to middle kingdom. See, if you look at this map, this is a drawing that shows the areas that the Egyptians occupied. It doesn't go into the Sinai zone. The map is clearer over here. It's the Hyksos time afi Kamose, Amose the first. Owi and papa and the brother Nejuman. Then he chased the Hyksos to make sure they don't return. No can what the Akasha Canaan. With that, Then Egypt entered into a new era of their life. Now, our friend, the New Kingdom or the Egyptian Empire. It started from 1550 BC and ended around 1069 BC, which is approximately 500 years. That time now, the Egyptians occupied the whole of the Canaan region. Now, around 1208 BC. Now, Egypt, so what do you do? They don't go to settle there. Still our Egypt, but they will appoint a king from among the people to rule.
Just like the European.
That is they copied the Egyptian technique. One technique and what this and so that you rule there, then every year you pay tribute. But when you are in trouble, give us information. It's the letters. There are letters that have been developed. Now, Egypt, what they did was that they learned other people's languages so they could communicate with them. The letters, cuneiform letters P or Egypt, were discovered or Tel El Amana. Krubia Nana Akhenaten Osi. Letters no or Dawson. Now, it gives a description of the people who were in the Canaan region. Now, Canaan region, when time Egypt for a few crosser or call Canaan when they went to meet a group of nomads. What can you to them right? And they're full and full. If you could have full and full, no one and council no be crying.
No, I'm at our warm.
I order what after now, what from on Shasu. Shasu for no winning, but it was a coup or one tribe, but it was a coup 6. Yeah, now. It was a coup 6 and also Biara of Bosama awesome. Shasu of Reuben, Shasu of Pisces, Shasu of Weber. And now Shasu Crusoe or Hona Bosama awesome on our friend Yahweh. It's Shasu, it was a coup 6 and or current nidin Bosam nidin Nasisiara or Israel for Bosamana.
I didn't wait there. Just say a part 2. Almost a time as
actually, I hear Ghana has Sierra. Egypt na ya wona ye Israel. Egypt na ya wona ya ba. Nti ya wo Zenith the Ankara. Ankara or your 2 names, Ank na Ra. Ejin Amehu Ameuho ana Ametefe. Na ahemfu bi wo Egypt a Amenhotep. Ejin Ametefe eho no fi. Yewo Sakara. Sakara or your Brono war ana Kro or Egypt. Yewo Sakara or Ghana. Isn't no Dawson. Ena Asamani, Akamani from Kush area. Yewo waha akwemufu kwa benya Asamani, Akamani na akwemufu won into kwa kupin. It is from there. Because in that area now we won't be afar when you are some of their queens were strong fighters. There was one queen who defeated the Romans. It's yenfi outside Africa, yenina fi Africa ha. She said next time I'm about na matiado. Na me the history. Na ma explain.
Yo, Abusia, you better was our conversation we saying so now. Ye who de bia ye Israelites. Oh, can't some na uchrem. Crowd almost say any Israelites. Omo wo horses almost some Israelites. Some Israelites. They have the land, they stay there. They have their identity as Israel. So you see Israel for say you no more. So why are you saying that we are Israelites? Are you the one fighting? The one who is claiming that identity, whatever, whether it's true or not. Or no na some nieka. Papa Baba was near Naya who say you free Israelites, near Hebrew for Africa here near war. And naga dang before no more Hebrew Israelites. And no na yeke kako. Tin koma wetin and day. Nyame adomo echina ye beto aso ne de akwawie ne ye ye last ye Israel for so ye pam ye fi Jerusalem na ehọ na ya boso nyina wo ne nyina ye betie ono so ne portion. Thank you, Father, for coming. Thank you so much for watching. Shalom, peace.